Do you know that Canada has a fully funded scholarship for international students that pays for everything, covering your tuition fee, that gives you a living allowance, that pays for your flight ticket, and does not require IELTS? Well, in the next 15 minutes, I am going to take you through everything you need to know to apply for McCall MacBain Scholarships for 2027, including the benefits, the eligibility, the documents required, and the step-by-step application processes. Welcome back to Sprint Remote, and this is a channel that exists just for one reason: to help international students, especially from Africa and other parts of the world, to find the real scholarships, the real programs, and the real pathways to study in abroad. And if you are new here, make sure you subscribe and hit that button. We drop scholarships content every week, and I don't think you would like to miss any of these things. Here is a quick background of this scholarship. The McCall MacBain Scholarship was created by John McCall MacBain and his wife, Mercy. John is a Canadian entrepreneur and a philanthropist. He built and sold some of the largest classified advertising companies in the world, and he decided to give it back by creating a scholarship that could develop the next generation of leaders. This is not just a scholarship for smart students, it is a scholarship for students who want to lead in their communities and in their field in the world. And that distinction matters a whole lot. Well, I am going to come back to it throughout this video because it completely shapes how you need to approach your scholarship application henceforth. But first, let me show you what this scholarship actually covers because the benefits are just extraordinary. The McCall MacBain Scholarship is described as a fully funded award, but let me break down what fully funded actually means here because it is more generous than most scholarships that you know. Number one, full tuition fee coverage. Now, your tuition fee are completely paid for. You do not have to worry about how much the program will cost you all through your study. And number two is your living stipend. You receive a monthly living allowance to cover your rent, your food, and your daily life in Montreal. This is real money and it's not just a token amount. And the number three benefit is travel support. Now, if you are coming from outside of Canada, your travel costs are covered. That means your flight to get there and your return flight when you finish your program is also covered. And number four is health insurance. And number five is your personal development budget. And this is one of the uniqueness of this scholarship. The McCall MacBain Scholarship invests in you as a person, not just as a student. There is funding for leadership development, coaching, mentorship, and a rich community of scholars. And the number six is access to one of a kind community. Now, you become a part of a cohort of scholars from across the world. You attend retreats, leadership summits, and events designed to build your network for life. This is not a scholarship, this is a full investment in your future, and that is exactly why this scholarship competition is very, very intense. Now, let's talk about what you can actually study. The McCall MacBain Scholarship is offered for a graduate study, especially at the master's level and in some cases, the PhD level at McGill University in Canada. And the range of eligible program is very, very broad. This is not a scholarship that is locked to one discipline. You can apply across multiple faculties, and the field include medicine and health sciences, law, engineering, education, management and business, environmental sciences, arts and social sciences, science and technology. What matters most is not the specific program you choose, it is that your field connect to your leadership goals and your vision for impact. They want to know why this field, why the McGill University, and how does this master's degree fit into your larger mission entirely. Now, one important thing is you must be admitted to a qualifying program at McGill University as part of the scholarship process. So your application involves two things working together. One, you must apply to the scholarship, and secondly, you are applying to the McGill graduate program. Now, let's quickly look at the eligibility requirement for this scholarship. Let's check out who can apply for this scholarship. And this is a section that most people skip. Before you spend time on an application, you need to know if you are qualified. You need to know if you have the necessary document and the eligibility criteria for you to apply for it. So let me go through the eligibility criteria clearly so that you can know your stand before setting up for your application. And the first criteria is your nationality. Now, the McCall MacBain Scholarship is open to students from anywhere in the world. That means right from where you are right now, you are qualified to apply for this scholarship. You do not have to be a Canadian. International students are absolutely eligible, including students from Africa, Asia, Caribbean, Latin America, in fact, everywhere all over the world. So if you are sitting in Lagos, Nairobi, or Accra, that is in Africa, you are eligible to apply for this scholarship. Now, the number two criteria is your academic level. You must be applying for a master's degree or a professional graduate degree at the McGill University in Canada. In some years, doctoral programs are also included, but that you need to check for the current list on their official website to know if they are included this time around. And the number three eligibility is your academic excellence. You need a strong academic record. The scholarship does not publish a fixed CGPA or GPA cutoff, but in practice, successful scholars have a strong undergraduate record. So you need to demonstrate that you can succeed at the rigorous graduate program. And the fourth criteria is your leadership and character. Now, this is where the McCall MacBain Scholarship is very, very different. Now, they are not just looking for top students, they are looking for people who can lead. Community development, entrepreneurship, advocacy, social impact, creative leadership, all of this matters. I want to talk directly to the student watching this who think their grades are not good enough or who think they are not the type who win a scholarship like this. Listen to me. If you have been doing meaningful work in your community, in your student organization, in your profession, in any area where you have led or served, you have a story worth telling. Do not count yourself out before you even try. Right? So, number five criteria is age. There is no strict age limit, but this is a scholarship designed for emerging leaders who are at an early or mid career stage. Now, the language question or the IELTS question. And this is one of the biggest reasons I wanted to cover this scholarship specifically. The McCall MacBain Scholarship does not require IELTS or TOEFL as part of the scholarship application itself. The McGill University may have language requirements for their specific programs, but many programs accept alternative evidence of English proficiency, including degrees completed in English. So if you completed your undergraduate degree in English language, you may be eligible to waive the English language test requirement at the McGill University. So always verify this directly with your specific program. But this is genuinely good news for African students who study in English medium universities, right? So if you are from Africa and you study in English in your undergraduate, you are qualified for this scholarship without IELTS. Okay, so let us talk about the application process, and I want you to take note here, right? Or pause the video because this section is going to save you a whole lot from confusion. The McGill MacBain Scholarship application process has two parallel tracks that works together hand in hand. And the track one is applying to McGill University admission to a graduate program, and the track two is applying to the McCall MacBain Scholarship directly. So you must do both, and you need to be nominated by McGill for the scholarship, meaning that the university itself plays a role in the selection process. Let me walk you through the step. And the very first step is to identify your McGill program. Now you have to go to their university official website and look at the graduate programs that is available on their site. Now choose a program that aligns with your goals and where you genuinely want to study, right? Do not pick a program just because it seems easier to get in. So you have to be strategic and authentic. Now the step two is to apply to McGill for graduate admission. Submit your graduate applications to the McGill through the standard admission process. And this typically include your transcript, includes your letter of recommendation, a statement of purpose or research proposal, and your academic CV. Check your specific program for its exact requirement. And the step three is to apply to McCall MacBain Scholarship. The scholarship has its own separate application on the McCall MacBain Scholarship website, which I'll pin on the description of this video. And this application asks about your leadership experiences, your community impacts, your personal values, and your vision for the future. Now the step 4 is nominations and shortlisting. The McGill nominates candidates for the scholarship based on their graduate application, and if you are nominated, you will be invited to continue in the scholarship process. The step 5 is interview. Now, shortlisted candidate goes through a multiple round of interview process, and this is where your personality, your vision, and your authenticity matters enormously. The scholarship committee wants to meet the real you, not a rehearsed performance that you submitted. Now, the step 6 is, which is the final section, and the award is where the finalists are being selected and the scholarship offers are made. Here, successful scholars receive their full funding package and join the McCall MacBain Scholar community. And a few important things about the timeline is this: the McCall MacBain Scholarship for 2027 entry will have application deadlines in late 2026 for most programs. Aim to have your McGill application submitted several months before the final deadline. Strong application take time. So mark your calendar now. Start early. The student who wins this scholarship are not the ones who start their application 2 weeks before the deadlines. So let me quickly run you through what your application needs to say. And this chapter is probably the most important part of this entire video, because knowing what the scholarship covers and knowing how to apply is only half the battle, right? Now the other half is knowing what your application actually need to say. And the McCall MacBain Scholarship is fundamental a leadership scholarship, and leadership is a word that gets thrown around so much that it can lose its meaning. So let me be specific about what they are looking for. One, they are looking for evidence of impact. Two, they are looking for intellectual curiosity people. Now, they want scholars who are genuinely interested in ideas. Your personal statement should reflect that, right? Now, number 3 is your character and integrity. Now, the McCall MacBain Scholarship invests heavily in mentorship and character development. So they want to see that you are a kind of person who does the right thing even when it is very, very difficult. Now, the number 4 is a clear vision. What they are trying to do with your life, how do you want to have it all figured out? But you need to have a direction. There are, where are you going, and why does a master's at McGill University fit into your journey? So you have to explain this in a very clear terms. Now, for African students specifically, your story is very, very powerful. You need to know this. The challenges you have navigated, the communities you have served, the resilience you have built, these are not just obstacles you overcame. They are the foundations of a compelling leadership narrative, right? So do not downplay your background in your application. Bring it forward. The McGill MacBain Scholarship wants a global leaders, and Africa is producing exactly the kind of change maker that these scholarships was designed to support. Now, one more thing about the interview. If you get to the interview stage, do not memorize a script. Practice being yourself. They will ask you a question about your experience and your values, your failures and your dreams. So the best thing you can do is to reflect deeply on your own story before you walk into that room or into that Zoom call, right? So, and that is the best you can do for yourself as a student who really wants to win this scholarship. Now, I always believe in giving you options because not every scholarship fits every person. If the McGill MacBain Scholarship is not the right match for your profile right now, here are some strong alternatives for studying in Canada and beyond. And the first option is the Vanier Canada Graduate Scholarship. And this is a scholarship for doctoral students in Canada, including international applicants at Canadian University. And second one is the Trudeau Foundation Scholarship. And the number 3 is the Commonwealth Scholarship for students from Commonwealth countries, and it covers your study in the UK and in other Commonwealth nations. And the fourth option is the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship Program. The fifth option is the DAD scholarships in Germany. I have done full videos on several of these on this channel. So check the description for links. And if you want me to do a dedicated deep dive on any of these alternatives I just mentioned, drop a comment below and I will add it to the content calendar. So, okay, before you go, let me leave you with this. The McCall MacBain Scholarship is very, very competitive. There is no point pretending otherwise, but competitive does not mean impossible. It means you have to prepare. It means you have to start early, and it means you have to tell your story honestly and powerfully. Every single year, students from Africa, from Asia, and from Latin America, students who never imagined they could get into the place like McGill, receive their email, and that scholarship offered their life a changing yes. Yes. So the only difference between them and you is that they applied. So do not wait. Do not overthink it. Start researching your McGill programs today, right now. Start working on your story. Start building the applications that represent the best version of who you are and where you are going. The link to the official McCall MacBain Scholarship website and the McGill University graduate admission portal are in the description below. I have also linked to our Sprint Remote blog post that covers this scholarship in full detail with a step-by-step guide that you can bookmark and return to anytime. So if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us to reach more students who need this information. Subscribe if you have not done that already, and share this with someone who is trying to get to Canada, and drop your question in the comment. I read every single comment, and I will see you in the next video.